So if you're watching after the live, we're going to wait a few minutes until some people hop on. Yeah, so we're going to wait a few minutes before we start talking about all the stuff. I've been doing lives before my lifts every day, pretty much for the last week. I think this is number 7, if I'm not mistaken. But all right, it looks like we got someone. Thanks for watching. So let's talk a little bit about the tournament. We'll talk about the tournament first. Turtleman 2. These are the t-shirts from last year. The shirts will look the same as this year. The only difference is there's going to be a number 2 on the side. I think right about here there's going to be a 2. As well as some of the sponsors on the back are different. But other than that, it's going to be similar color. It might be a little different shade of green, but it's going to be pretty much the same color green. The shirts are going for $30. We're doing we got a pre-order available, so if you guys want to guarantee a shirt, definitely take advantage of the pre-order. So the tournament's going to start at noon, Saturday, September 6th. It's going to start at noon. So what that means is you have to show up earlier. Noon is when the tournament starts. But the latest you will be able to show up and actually compete and sign up will be like 11:30, 11:45. Technically would be 11:59, but that might be cutting it close. But yeah, earlier the better. Early weigh-ins are from 8 to 11. Well, thanks for watching, Pronaj, if that's how you say it. Thanks for watching. If I said your name right, let me know. So the tournament is going to be at noon, but you got to anywhere from 8 to 11. You'll be able to sign up, weigh in. You're asking, Amanda, you asking about the tournament? Because the tournament is a charity event. It's Turtleman 2. Got the flies back. Turtleman 2. It's a charity event. It's in Connecticut. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. It's an arm wrestling event. Maybe if that's what you're asking, it's going to be an arm wrestling event. So if you don't know what arm wrestling is, you didn't know if you didn't even know if it was a real sport, your opportunity to check out the sport will be, you have 2 opportunities. The first one is Friday. Now, Friday is you need to buy tickets for the Friday event. Friday is going to also be a pay-per-view event. The pay-per-view, the money that we get from the pay-per-view, whatever YouTube does not take, so it's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on this channel under a paid membership. It's $9.99. So under the pay-per-view, it's going to be under this channel. It's going to be an edited version. Oh, thanks for the subscribe, Amanda. I appreciate that. But it's going to be it's going to be an edited version. some of the athletes on the card. You know, we got some legends, we got some young up and comers, we got, you know, some of the best guys, some of the best females in the area, as well as we got people flying in. I want to say the furthest I think people are flying in from is, I think, Puerto Rico. I think that might be the furthest. So far, I think the longest drive is, I think people are coming from Maine, and that's like 6 to 8 hours, depending on where you're coming from. So we got we got a lot of people making trips. The tickets for the pay-per-view event Friday will be going for $20. That money for the ticket is given to the charity, the family of Turtleman. The pay-per-view is going to be, whatever YouTube doesn't take is going to be broken up and given. It's going to be broken up, divided up. Money will be going to the family, for the charity. Money will also be going to the athletes, and money will also be going to the referees. Because refereeing is it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a tough job, and even if you do everything perfect as a referee, there's always someone that's going to be complaining, or, you know, just part of it. Well, Mike, I don't think you're gonna. I don't think I could do that right now. You know, it's not capable, because I just don't think it's gonna happen. But I appreciate the comment. Yeah, so we're gonna break it up, give it to the athletes, give it to the charity, give it to the referees, whatever YouTube doesn't take. There is, because this is a charity event, you know, our budget was pretty much zero, and so the goal with this pay-per-view and everything is to definitely make a profit for the charity. You know, and I think we're off to a great start so far. I think we'll definitely going to make a profit for the charity. So it's going to be good. Also, too, that's what I forgot to say. That if you buy tickets for the Friday event, you won't just be getting the legendary card of athletes, you know, the super matches. You'll be getting more. You also have the choice to join the Dungeon Museum tour after the pay-per-view. And also, too, there's going to be an after party, an after pull, pretty much a giant practice after the pay-per-view. So if you want to pull with some of the legends like, you know, Bill Sinks, the High Chief, the Assassin, you know, Black Ice will be there. You know, we got some very, very high level athletes. There is only, right now, we did have a private sponsor for one of the super matches. So everyone except for one match is making the trip on their own dime. You know, people are Friday at noon is a tough time. You know, it's a tough time. I definitely understand a lot of people can't make it because they work. But that was our only time slot to make this happen with the Saturday event and setup and all that stuff. So I'm really appreciative to these athletes that are, you know, that want to help out. They want to be part of the event. You know, I think this is something that could definitely grow into something big. You know. It should be interesting, you know. I definitely, this is definitely my opinion in terms of athlete caliber. It's a very high level of athletes, um, in my personal opinion. You know, I think personally, you know, as a fan myself, I'm very excited for all these matches. Um, let's talk about some of those matches. Now, in no order, no particular order, I'm just gonna start naming off matches. The first match that pops in my head is going to be Ron, the Assassin, Ermini versus Bill Sinks. Bill Sinks might be one of the most. Uh, he probably will. He's probably one of the most famous athletes on the card in terms of popularity. I feel like everyone probably knows who Bill Sinks is, unless if you know you're like a brand new into the sport, you might not know. But he's been pretty active, so even if you're new, you've probably seen him. You know, he's been in the WL. You know, he's been everywhere pretty much. But now a lot of people probably don't know Ron Armini. You know, like the way I do. You know, because my first team, my first arm wrestling team, was with Ron Armini, the Connecticut Armbenders. So my you know pretty much my first year was with that team. You know, um, the people that do know Ron right now, I don't think they've ever met the assassin. You know, I keep on saying it. There's the happy-go-lucky Ron that will show up to a tournament and just have some fun, and then there's the assassin that shows up and just assassinates everybody. I've only seen the assassin in one time. That was at 2020 at the IFA Worlds in Florida, where he won 2 golds. Um, and that being said, Ron, I've seen him. I haven't seen him train this much. I don't think ever. I don't think. Um, you know, he's coming to practices. He's hitting the weights. You know, so I don't. He's definitely not taking this lightly. From what I hear, a lot of people. I think it's mostly just because of the fact they don't really know Ron as much as Bill. They think it's a little bit of a mismatch. I disagree. I think this is going to be a crazy match. I think it's going to go. I think it's going to go 3-2. I think that's the type of match it's going to be. I think it's going to be back and forth, all the way to the finish. So it's going to be good. Now let's go to the ladies match. The ladies, we got one ladies match on the card. On the pay-per-view, they will be opening up the pay-per-view. They will be the first match on the pay-per-view. In the in-person, my match will be first. This way, if you're watching in person, it's going to be played differently. In the edited version, my match is going to be played first. This way, I can focus on the match. Once the match is done, I can go back to focusing on the promoter side, making sure that everything in the event runs well. There's no problems. If there is any problems, we get them fixed as soon as possible. Let's go back to the ladies. So the first athlete on the card is Kyla Ward. Now, she is definitely newer to the sport. I want to say she's got like 3 or 4 years, maybe 3. But she is very strong. I've seen her compete before, and she just wreaked havoc in that women's class. I don't think she's been pinned. Even she did give. I think she was about fit. I shouldn't say that. Maybe 30 to 40 pounds lighter than some of the opponents in that women's class. But now that being said, she's going against the veteran Candy Passmore. That should be a very, very interesting match. Hey, what's up, Dan? Good to see you. You've been getting around. You've been pretty active, right? I've seen you at the Mac event. You know, that was pretty good. That was a good match right there. You pulled Aiden. Wasn't it Aiden? You pulled Aiden LeMay? Or am I thinking of something different? But yeah, man, good to see you. Um, let's see. She's Kyla is pulling Candy Passmore. She's a little bit of a veteran. She's probably had about 10 or 15 super matches, if I'm not mistaken. How did Dan? How did you like that Mac table? Did you like um, that Mac table with the everything with the slight changes? What's your opinion on the Mac table? Because I've only pulled on it once, and it was just a real quick, practice with it. Just maybe one or two pulls. Yep, that Matt Aiden he's very good. He's super snappy. And if you win, I tell you what, Winter Blast is a big tournament. So if you win Winter Blast, you must be doing something right with your training. So congratulations on those wins. Those very impressive wins. Yeah, I gotta get one of those tables. Next time I talk to Ian, I gotta see if he's got any for sale. Dan, I'm not sure if I know Dan Constantine. It sounds familiar though, but he must be pretty strong if he beat you. You know what I mean? So good for him. But I hope he enjoyed the trip over there. Was it in was Armed Gods in England or was it in Ireland this time? Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know you pulled Aiden both left and right. I only saw the right arm match. But yeah, his left is no joke too. So that's a great win. That's a great win. That's maybe I do know him if he's from Romania but he lives in England. That's pretty much the whole entire English team is I don't think there's any Englishmen on the English team if I'm not mistaken. You know, it might be one or two Englishmen, but every guy on the English team is from a different country. Um, let's see. Dan, are you gonna make it to the Turtleman, or is it too far of a trip? Because you're in Canada, aren't you? You're up in Canada. But if you could make it, it'd be great. Great to have you. Um, so let's go to the third match. The next match that comes to mind is now one of these athletes is a replacement. Brennan Peasley was not able to make the event for just because, and so his replacement is Tim Lewis, and he will be pulling James Road Mason. Now this is interesting. This is an interesting match. It's kind of like I think I said this a little bit yesterday in the other live, but it's like one's the bullet and one's the bulletproof vest. One wants the match to keep going. It does not want the match to become static. It wants to be dynamic, and the other is the complete opposite. He wants the match to stop as long as it becomes static in almost any position. he will probably be okay with it. So this should be very interesting. It should be very interesting. Tim has definitely been active. I think he has a super match every 3, 4, or 5 days. Every 3 or 4 or 5 days, he has a super match. So he's very active. But I appreciate him filling in last second. Because it would have been James is good, so it would have been tricky to get an opponent that would, like Tim, that would give him a good match. But we'll see. We'll see. That's also going to be a right arm match. So far, all the matches we talked about are going to be a right arm match. The only matches that have a left arm match are the athletes that are pulling both hands. There's 3 athletes pulling both hands. The first 2 are pulling each other twice, left and right. The first athlete on the card is the High Chief, Ron Columba. He'll be defending the dungeon, his home turf, versus Black Ice. Now, Black Ice has said some things like he says it's time for a new chief. He wants the title of chief. I know these guys have faced many times in the past, and to the best of my knowledge, Chief has won every time. But maybe the tables have turned. Black Ice definitely has the youth on his side. They both have a ton of experience, but this is kind of like the student versus the teacher. Black Ice said himself when he first started, Chief was one of the guys that, first helped him out with coaching. Personally, I'm very excited for this match. I think this is definitely one of the matches that might be one of the most entertaining, for the fan side. Both these guys have very, very good characters, very strong mindsets. One guy might have the advantage with speed, but one guy, like Chief might have to hit, might be a little faster, but Black Ice, he does not get tired, So once in a while, I'll go down to Pennsylvania and I'll pull with Black Ice and all the Pennsylvania crew. He does not get tired. He'll pull for 3 hours, and his power is pretty much the same from start to finish. He does not get a lactic acid buildup. He will not burn out. He will not pump up. So it's interesting, it's interesting. Let's see. Next match that comes to mind is this athlete is having 2 matches, 2 separate athletes, 2 separate arms. Paul Passmore. He will be pulling right hand versus James Clark. Let's talk a little bit about that match. So one is definitely a top roller. One is definitely a hooker. They're going to be coming in at the same weight, 242. But I think James might have a pretty decent height advantage. So that maybe that will come into, be a factor or not. I think James is like an inch or 2 taller than me, so he might have like 4 or 5. He might have 4 or 5 inches possibly. But it depends, It may not be a factor, because Paul is looking extremely strong recently. He's had some really big wins recently. I've seen some after pulls of him doing some after pulls, and his arms are probably the biggest they've been. So this should be interesting, I think it's going to be a good match. I know Clark is definitely very excited to pull Passmore. Passmore knows how good Clark is, you know. Now his left arm, Paul left arm, will be pulling Justin Baird, aka Trapzilla. Now these guys have been talking about this match for a very long time, and it just so happens that we're able to put it on for you guys September 5th, Connecticut at noon. It's going to be a good time, you know. Justin has been experimenting, or not experimenting. He's been in boxing. He's been doing his boxing for a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's like Rough and Rowdy or something like that. But now he's taking, he's going back to arm wrestling, you know. So I'm excited about this match. Last time, I don't think I've ever actually pulled Justin. I've actually, I don't think I've actually, I've only pulled Paul in like a warm up, real quick warm up. So I'm excited. I'm going to, as long as everyone's healthy after the event, hopefully there's no injuries. Hopefully we get to do a ton of after pulling with all the guys and ladies. Next match on the card, Sam Mitchell versus Brian Malek. Right arm, best of 5. They are meeting at 165 pounds. And it should be very interesting, One is more of a high hook top roller, and one is a very sticky hook. Sam's got that sticky hook where once it gets on his bicep, it's very, very hard to deal with. Brian is more, more hand dominant. If I'm not mistaken, it should be very interesting. But so far of the matches that we talked about, guys, what's your favorite match? What's your match you're most excited for? Now the last match, if I haven't forgotten it, usually I always miss one. It's always a different one every time. But the last match on the card will be it will be a 1 versus 3. So it will be me versus John, Damian, and Andrew. These guys are some of the best guys in the area. Damian is number 2 in the state of Massachusetts, only behind Jerry Caderet. John he might be tied for 3rd, but if he's not 3rd in the state, he is definitely 4th behind Chris Burns. Andrew, he is from Pennsylvania. I'm not super familiar with Pennsylvania, but I would definitely say he is in the top 10 super heavyweights in the state, if I'm not mistaken. I will be pulling them in a 1 versus 3 handicap match. It should be interesting. Like I said earlier, in case you guys weren't watching before, in the live event, in-person event, my match will be first. On the pay-per-view, this match will be last. So keep that in mind. And then, so it's in person, it's going to be my match, and then the ladies. But in the pay-per-view, the ladies will be opening up first. I just think it will be the best of both worlds, because I'm kind of doing a lot of things at once. I'm being a competitor, I'm being a promoter, an event organizer, all at the same time. So this way, once we can, I can focus kind of one thing at a time. Also, too, if my match goes first, we're gonna have some new rules, some modified rules, custom rules for this event. So if there is any problems that I didn't foresee, the problems would happen with my match and not the other athlete's match. This way, we can use any data we get, make corrections, so other athletes on the card don't have any problems. But personally, I think the rules are going to be very, very. I think they're going to be very fair, especially if you are arm wrestling. If you start to do like things like professional fouls, it's. I set the rules up so it will cost you. Personally, I'm not a fan of when someone fouls and they kind of get a get out of jail free card. Doesn't really make sense to me, especially like someone fouls and loses, but someone fouls and gets pinned, or a professional foul. Maybe that's the biggest thing. Like as a pretty much as a fan, like if I'm watching the sport, I cannot stand professional fouls. I don't like it when the athlete has to stop arm wrestling to focus on fouling. I would much more prefer to watch just arm wrestling. Now, if someone is fouling because they're arm wrestling, that would be fine. There's going to be running fouls, but anything that's considered a professional foul or a unsportsman will be 2 fouls. So it's going to be running fouls, 3 fouls with 0 warnings. So if someone does do a professional foul or an unsportsman, it's going to cost them 2 fouls. So it's gonna have a bigger cost, So I'm trying to set it up so if someone does do something like that to stop the match, it's not there's no benefit. There's less of a benefit. They might get what they want, but it's going to cost them a lot more. Let's see. I've still got to make some tweaks with that rule. So if you guys have any recommendations or ideas, let me know. I'd be happy to hear them. But yeah, let's talk about some of the rules. I just went over a real gist, but we're going to talk about some of the rules. The rules are going to be the same for the tournament and the super matches, with slight differences for the novice, amateur, for safety rules. But the way the rules are going to go is the first thing, before the referee does anything, the referee will go to both athletes. Are you happy with this grip? Are you happy with this grip? Both athletes must give a verbal yes or no. If both athletes say yes, the next command will be don't move. There will not be a ready, so it will be don't move, go. So there's going to be a slight pause after don't move. It's not, I don't want quick go. I don't want don't move, go. It's going to be don't move, space, go, with a slight pause. So if both athletes say yes, I'm good with this grip, they're just be given the don't move, go right after. If one athlete says yes, if one athlete says no, they will get their grips. They have 15 seconds to get their own grip. If for some reason they cannot get their grip in 15 seconds, it will be going to a referee set grip where the hands start open. The referee tells you close your thumbs, close your fingers, don't move, go. You must not, can't cover knuckles. and stuff like that. If for some reason they still cannot get a start with the referee's set grip after another 15 seconds, it will be a traditional full referee's grip where the referee closes thumbs and closes the hands. Also, too, I forgot to say this too. I'm not 100% sure on this one, but I'm trying to adjust the rules a little bit so it makes it harder to start with your shoulders carved in. So if let's take it back to the beginning. If the referee says, "Are you good? Are you good?" One athlete says no. One athlete says yes. The next thing they're going to do is they are going to square up the athlete's shoulders and take it from there. I don't know if you guys can see all these flies. I don't know where all these flies came from. Must be the farm down the street. But the referee will square up the shoulders. Once you are squared and the referee goes back to the hands, if you carve in and the referee has to go back to square you up, it's going to be a foul. Just way, you guys see that fly? Yep, he's here. He's here. This way it doesn't take. The referee doesn't have to go hand, shoulder, 50 times in a row. I'm not 100% sure on that rule. We're gonna use my match, see how it goes. But because there's no warnings, anytime the referee has to do anything like a warning or for example, like other things, it will just be a straight foul. So keep that in mind. Let's talk a little bit about the strap. If one athlete wants for the strap and the other athlete says no, it will not be applied. If both athletes want the strap, it will be automatically applied. Keep this in mind, guys. If you're pulling right arm, you cannot touch the strap with your left arm at all. Not even even if sometimes people let you hold it like this. There's no touching the strap with your offhand. It will just be a foul. So keep that in mind, guys. If you guys need the strap adjusted, like some people have the strap on, and instead of being up here, they want it down here. You must communicate with the ref. The referee will do all the adjusting. 0 for 2 with hitting the fly. Anytime the strap is adjusted, the referee only, if an athlete touches the strap with their offhand, that is not arm wrestling and will be a foul. Keep that in mind. All slips will go to strap unless a unsportsman foul has occurred. Now, unsportsman fouls they have to be so obvious. It has to be almost obvious where we're gonna have 3 referees where all 3 referees know right away that was unsportsman. What I mean by like an unsportsman would be like say this hand is the elbow pad, your elbow's here, and when you hit them, you drag them all the way down past here, you're like something like that. That might be considered unsportsman, as well as say this is the elbow pad, your elbow. Say if you lift up and then hit, that's going to be an unsportsman. That's how a lot of people perform a professional foul. But that will most likely be a unsportsman, which will be 2 fouls. Talked a little bit about the strap. We talked a little bit about there will be, for the super matches, there's video review. So now we're going to use one camera for all the reviews. We are only going to use one camera, so if you come up to us with your phone recorded, we will not use that in the review. We're just going to use our camera. So keep that in mind. Also, too, if I'm thinking like it's probably going to be, if you want a video review, you must be confident enough to put $50 down as collateral for stopping the event, for holding everything up. If your call stands, if you are wrong with the review and the call stands, that $50 will be given directly to the charity. But if you are right, if the call is reversed and you are right, you will get your money back and the call back. As far as the tournament, we might only allow pros. We might only do the pro class. We're going to see how the turnout is. It might be too much, might be too crazy to do video reviews for everybody. But right now, it's definitely going to be the pro class because that pro class has a lot on the line. Besides a golden turtle, this is like a demo version, but a solid gold turtle, first place finish. But if you make it to the overalls, you have to win first place in the pro to be entered in the overalls. But if you win either the left or the right, you'll be guaranteed a spot on the next pay-per-view on Stone TV. Let me know if you guys have any questions for me, anything like that. I'll be happy to try to answer them about the tournament or anything. But speaking of straps, we got some Team Stone straps. This is what it looks like. You got a nice buckle. Straps are going for $20. You can get them. Message me on Facebook, Nicholas Stone, or message me on Instagram, Team Stone. Well, hold on, _ Team Stone 777 on Instagram. There's turtleman shirts, pre-order available. This is from the first event. The second event is gonna look just like this, but with a big number 2 on it. We got the Team Stones t-shirts for sale, as well as there's coaching services available, personal training, anything like that. So if you guys want some gains, let me know. Yes, what I said before about the video view is definitely the super matches, not guaranteed, but most likely the pros on the tournament. What else is there? I guess we can go back. I think I might have missed some of the handicap match, how it's going to go. It will be 3 pins versus 6. So the team of 3 has to pin me 3 times. It doesn't have to be one guy each. It could be any of them. I have to get 6 pins. Same thing. It doesn't have to be 2. It could be any of them. So the way it's going to go, it's going to be one athlete after the other. Round 1 will be athlete A, round 2, athlete B, round 3, athlete C, and then continue. The team of 3 will have full range of what they want to do. If they want to change that order, if they want to move things around, if they want to go athlete A, athlete C, B, C, they can do anything they want. They can come up with any strategy they want. One thing I was thinking about is this kind of in like a tag team wrestling match, they have like a tag in. I was thinking about having like each. Let me know what you guys think about this, but having each one guy on the team of 3, so having 3 tag-ins total, one each, where they can swap in a round. Like say for example, it can't be in the middle of a pull. It can't be in the middle of a match, but it could be right after a match. Like say if a foul, like say if round 4 or something like that. I'm pulling athlete A is a long match, and then a foul happens or something unsportsman or something that will stop the match because it's going to be running foul. So even if there's a foul, it won't be stopped unless it's unsportsman or something like that. But something comes up where it's stopped, they can swap in the middle of the round. Or even like say if there's a slip, they could there's a big slip or something, they could swap or something like that in right after the slip. So anytime there's a stop, they can tag in their teammate, get a fresh athlete in there. I'm not 100% sure on that. I gotta think this over, make sure it will work with the match. Now, what else is there? Let's see. I wonder how much that team weighs. If that team, add up Damian, John, and Andrew, add them all up together. It's like I think it's 800 pounds, almost exactly. I think if I did my math right in my head, I think they're 800. Oh, it might be like 780 pounds. Maybe that's what it's. Maybe 780 pounds. But it should be very interesting. Very interesting. What do you guys? Are you guys a fan of these type of matches, like the 1 versus 3 matches like that? Because I know other promotions have experimented with maybe this is not the right word, like not a circus match, but that's not the right word, but they experimented with different types of matches to make it potentially more enjoyable for the viewer. Sometimes they're not real matches. Like I was at an event and they had a staged match, where the athletes pulled. Now I think one of the athletes, I think he thought it was real. Which he wasn't an arm wrestler. He came from a different sport. So I definitely understand what that promotion is doing. They're trying to get new fans from somewhere else to join the arm wrestling world, which I think is a good thing. They're trying, but the biggest difference is that match was one guy definitely knew the outcome. He made it look real. I tell you what, the fans, I saw it in person. The fans, they absolutely loved it. But the arm wrestlers instantly knew that this was a fake match. But the fans, like, they had no idea. Anybody that didn't have any idea what arm wrestling was, that was just, came to enjoy the show, that might have been the most entertaining match for them. That they were screaming and cheering. But the arm wrestlers were all giving each other that look like, you seen this kind of thing? You seen this? Which I do get it, But that being said, the match that we are doing, it's not staged. There's nothing staged. Whoever wins will be the better person that day. So it's like a handicap match, but it's not like WWE where we already got the winner. We won't find out who the winner is until September 5th after the match. But yeah, guys, make sure you get your tickets. Shoot me a message, Facebook, Instagram. Also, if you want to get pre-order for the shirts, they're going quick. I want to say there's like 20, maybe 20, 25, 30 shirts already spoken for. So some of the sizes are running low already, which is interesting, which is almost the opposite of last year. Like the sizes that went out fast are like the opposite. Right now, it's interesting how that works. But it's good. It's a good thing. Make sure I didn't miss any of these comments. What else can we talk about? We talked some about the tournament. We talked about the super matches. So let's talk about the location of both days. So Friday will be in Portland, Connecticut, at the Dungeon. If you need the address, you're going to have to buy the tickets before I send you the address. This way I make sure you guys don't pull a fast one. But yeah, if you need the ad, it's in Portland, Connecticut. If you want to see the event live, you're going to have to buy tickets. Shoot me a message, and then we'll take it from there. The event Friday starts at noon, but because there's so many things going on, like with all the athletes there, we'll be talking about rules. If you guys decide to come that day, definitely do not show up. You can show up whenever, but it will be much more easier on our end if you could show up earlier, because parking might be a little hectic possibly. But we're prepared for if it gets like that. If it gets crazy, we'll make it work. It seems like we're going to have enough helpers, volunteers to help us. We'll have a couple people directing traffic, making sure they're parking in good spots, make sure they're not blocking anyone in. But yeah, that's going to be in Portland, Connecticut. If you can show up around 11, that'd be cool. Let's talk about the location of the Turtleman 2, the tournament. So it's on the Facebook page, but if you don't have Facebook, it is at Steel Beach Gym. I forgot the name of the street, but it's Steel Beach Gym in Oakville, Connecticut. That's where the tournament's going to be. It's going to be on the bottom floor. It's like a 3-story gym, so it's going to be on the bottom floor. There's sliding doors on the bottom. You'll be able to go through there. Also, if you for some reason you miss those big sliding doors, the main entrance is on the 2nd story, so you have to go up the steps, but we'll have the sliding doors open, or not open. They'll probably be unlocked, depending on the weather. If it's nice out, we'll keep them open. But it's going to be inside this year, so you guys don't have to worry about getting sunburned like last year, or if it rains or anything. I do appreciate both locations letting us use the spot. I appreciate the Chief letting us use the dungeon for the first ever Dungeon Supermatch series. And I appreciate the Steel Beach crew for letting us use the space, the bottom story. They're pretty much giving us the full bottom story, pretty much, which we appreciate that. It's very nice of them, very generous. Um, Also, too, I don't think I talked about this. The super matches, the in-person seats, they're not seats. I keep on saying seats. They're going to be standing tickets. Um, so if there's a reason, if there's some kind of medical issue where someone can't stand, let me know. I'll get something for them. Or if you have your own setup, you're more than welcome to bring it. But if you can stand, we would definitely prefer you guys to stand. But like I just said, if there's like a medical problem or something like that and you can't stand, let me know. We'll definitely get something for you. Or you're welcome to bring your own setup. Um, Also, too, the Supermatch series is going to be in, I'll say this more times, but it's going to be in the dungeon. Chief is going to have all his motorcycles and his nice cars out there. So it'd be very appreciative if you guys, just respect all the bikes and trucks. Don't sit on them or anything like that. Just, unless you ask Chief or something like that, just in case we don't want any bike to tip over, or something like that, or yeah. I feel like everyone is pretty respectful. I just feel like I should say that. His Chief likes his stuff. He doesn't want his stuff all messed up. Let's see. Talked about location. There will be. I'm not sure for food. I'm not sure about the Friday. We're still working out the food. We might have like a little grill setup with burgers and hot dogs. You guys are welcome to bring your own food. You feel more than welcome to bring your own food. But the tournament will have a food truck. I forget what type of food it is, but I think it's like pulled pork and stuff like that. So it's good stuff. So there's going to be a food truck at the tournament, but also within 5 miles, there's multiple restaurants from different qualities like fast food and better quality. So there's going to be food pretty close by. But even if you don't like the food truck stuff, but the food truck, I had it at the last. There was a strongman event. I went and I watched, and the food was good. What else can we talk about? So I'm almost finished with the pre-workout. So once I finish drinking this, I'll hop off and I'll start lifting. So let's talk about the Friday day again. So the super matches, we're gonna have 3 or 4 cameramans on our crew. The only guys allowed to film is gonna be our guys. I was thinking about maybe having this might be too extreme, especially for this first time, but I might have the people at the event sign like a waiver that they won't film and won't post the matches. If they do, there'll be like a fine or something like that. I'm not sure. That might be too extreme. But the reason why is I definitely don't want the matches getting out there because it's going to be a pay-per-view. If the match gets out there, and it definitely might lower the pay-per-view sales, which would mean less money for the charity. So yeah, definitely would appreciate no filming of the super matches. If you guys want to film other stuff, like for example, if you want to film a walkout of an athlete, that is definitely okay. but nothing once they get to the table. Nothing like that. Nothing that's going to give away anything of the matches. Saturday, the tournament. You're welcome to film anything you want. If you guys want to go live, more than welcome. Pretty much film anything you want Saturday. But for Friday, because it's a pay-per-view event, we're going to be pretty strict with the cameras. And, yeah, should be good. Should be good. Let's see. I don't think I missed any more matches. We talked about the pre-order of the Turtleman 2, so it's just going to look just like this, but it's going to have a number 2 on it because it's the second edition, second annual Turtleman Classic Charity Tournament. We're going to have some raffle items. I take that back. Not raffle. We're going to have silent auction items. We're going to have stuff like there's a heated massager. There is video game equipment. There's like Ninja Turtle action figures. We got signed East versus West t-shirts, signed straps from East versus West. I can't remember which one. I want to say 10 or 11. So it's got all the athletes on there signed. Definitely something else that I'm forgetting. I want to say there might be an air. I can't remember if it's an air fryer or a air purifier. I can't remember, but it's one of those things. So we got some pretty big items. It's going to be a silent auction. With a little piece of paper, you write your name and your how much you bid. And if there's someone before you, and you have to beat their auction, you have to beat their number. Just cross out their name, write your name under with a bigger number. And yeah, that's how it's gonna work. Last year we did the raffles, the raffle tickets. This year we're gonna try something a little different. We got some bigger items, so it should be good. Yeah, it should be good. All right, guys. If you got any more questions, I'm going to hop off in like a minute, and then we'll take it from there. Yeah, so another like 55 seconds. All right, guys. I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Definitely appreciate it. If you got any questions, let me know. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.